Hi guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome back to Literary Weaponry, and today what we're going to be talking about are my most anticipated reads from the second quarter of 2021. Now, I know as of this recording, it's already May 5th and second quarter started at the beginning of April. I might be a little bit behind, but we're doing this anyway because it makes me happy. So yeah, there are 8 books on this list, so let's just get into it. It's pretty simple, right? We're just going to talk about the books I'm most excited for the April, May, June 2021. First one on my list is one that actually already came out on April the 13th. I'd actually received a arc of this, and I gave it a 4 out of 5, and that book is Malice by Heather Walter. Now this is a villain origin story retelling of Maleficent. So a Maleficent origin story, and it is an adult novel, not YA. I love this book. It was so good. It is Walter's debut novel. It is absolutely magnificent. We have a sapphic romance, we have magic, we have like the main character. Obviously we know her as Maleficent. Heather has named her Malice or Alice. Alice is amazing. Like this entire time it's this about a young woman who has a dark type of magic, and it's her wanting to have friends and feel loved and be around other people and be able to be a part of society, but society frowns on her and they treat her very badly. And it's kind of her descent of her wanting to be loved and appreciated and just be accepted, and her descent into what we now know as Maleficent. And it's a wonderful story. Even knowing where it ends up, like you can't look away. It absolutely absorbed my interest. It was wonderful. Love this book. Highly recommend it. Next book on my list is The Crown of Gilded Bones, the 3rd book in the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Now the first 2 books in this series, Blood and Ash and Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, came out in 2020 and I devoured them. I absolutely love the first 2 books in this series. Crown of Gilded Bones came out April 20th. Again, I've already read it. I'll only give it a 3 out of 5, but anyway, we'll get into that. This 3rd book, if you've read the first 2, we're just going to give a quick snippets here. We have Poppy, who is discovered. I suppose there might be minor spoilers for the first 2 books if you're concerned with that. FYI. So Poppy has discovered that she has this magic within her, and at the end of the 2nd book, if you recall that scene, again, spoilers, the blood tree with the dead bodies around her of the people she just killed who were trying to hurt her, and she ended up killing them. Anyway, we go from there, and it was good. I enjoyed Poppy's character. It's a lot of her build up, but while the author Armentrout is building up Poppy, Kieran and Cass both, they lose all their personality. Like they just become fodder to prop up Poppy's character. And while I do love Poppy and I love the direction that she is going, I feel like Kieran and Cass deserved better than that. I'm still going to read the 4th book in this series, but Crown of Gilded Bones, probably not the best. Like I said, it is the 3rd book, so I don't want to get too much into it and do spoilers and things, but here we are. Next book in this list is one I am really excited to read. It comes out on May 25th, and it is a Touch of Malice from Scarlett St. Clair's Hades and Persephone series. This is book number 3. Now this is a retelling series of the Hades and Persephone's myth, except it is set in a more modern era. It's still it still has magic and obviously the gods and everything, but society is built up around a modern take on these gods. The gods themselves have evolved from what we know as their ancient Greek personas and into more modern things. They go out to nightclubs, they do normal things that you would expect. And this is Hades and Persephone's story within all of that. Hades is still god of the underworld. Persephone isn't so much the goddess of spring, but don't want to get into that again because spoilers. But it's a really good series. It is, I'd call it erotic fantasy, but you know, it's heavy adult romance fantasy perhaps. But it is really good. I like, there's a secondary companion series to this that's told, so the Hades and Persephone series is told from Persephone's perspective. The other companion series is the same story except told from Hades' perspective. So it's a really interesting concept. I prefer Hades to Persephone. I found Persephone really whiny, but overall it is a really solid story. It's really interesting. It's really engaging. Hades owns this nightclub and it's kind of while Persephone's coming into her magic and discovering who she is, Hades is also kind of developing as well. He's been hidden in the shadows for millennia. Like, he's always just been god of the underworld. And he started showing himself as a new person, a new persona. And it's just a really interesting story. If you like Greek retellings, highly recommend. Next book on this list is also ancient Greek inspired. This one is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. Now, Ariadne, I'm sure you are aware, is part of the Minotaur Theseus myth. And this is a retelling of that myth. Now, I don't know a lot about the book personally. It's one I put on my list just because I love ancient Greek history. Like, give me more of that, please. And it sounded really interesting. It's the story of Ariadne told from her perspective, and history sees her as more of an evil character. So I'm hoping it paints Ariadne in a more forgiving light, and it tells her side of the story. Like, I'd love to see that. Looking forward to getting it. And that one came out on May 4th. My copy hasn't arrived yet, but it will eventually. I hated the US cover for it, so I ordered it from Book Depository, and we all know their shipping is whatever. It's all over the place. It could show up in July. Who knows? Anyway, looking forward to reading that one. Next book on this list is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. This book is coming out on May 18th, and it's one I also got an e-arc of, and I only gave it a 3 out of 5, but I still have it on this list because I feel like the concepts for this book, I feel like they'll really speak to a lot of people. The way the concepts were presented didn't do it for me, but I know it had the potential to be a wonderful story, and I know it's going to speak to a lot of people, so I just wanted to bring it into this. So in the Ravenous Dark, we have a young woman. Early in the story, her father is killed. Like, that is really early in the story. It's like page 2, like no spoilers here. There's a scene where her father is killed, and it ends up her father was part of this huge magic system, and I'm not describing it very well, probably because it didn't hold my interest that well. So let's just wing it. So there's LGBTQIA rep, there is a polyamorous relationship, there is a ghost warrior protector that can control our main character, whose name I have forgotten, and it's not on my list of notes. So yeah, if I remember to look it up, I'll shove it here wherever it goes. Anyway, and there's high stakes. Like, the world is at risk if this character does not do what she needs to do. Anyway, like. I love the LGBTQIA rep in it. I think that was wonderful. Ghost Warrior dude had potential. I know this book's going to speak to a lot of people. So go look it up. I'm not describing it well. It's fine. Go look it up. If it interests you, that's great. So, and I'm pretty sure from spoilers I've seen, it's coming up in one of the big European book boxes that come out. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, next book I'm so excited about. I did not request an arc of this because I just wanted a finished copy. I want to dive into the finished story. I want to devour it. And that book is For the Wolf part of the Wilderwood series, #1 by Hannah Whitten. This book comes out on June 15th. I've already pre-ordered my copy. Can't wait. This is an adult fantasy. It is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. And people use the phrase, when they're describing this, the early readers have used the phrase, gothic monster boyfriend. Like, how can I say no to that? Like, that's all I really need to know. But Hannah has really talked this up. It's supposed to be a really creepy tale, side of romance. Both of the characters Hannah's come out and said are all, like, they're adult characters. It's none of the YA romance vibes that you get. Like, they're experienced characters. I'm really excited for it. Pre-order my copy. Looking forward to it showing up on my doorstep. Look up For the Wolf, Hannah Whitten. It's gonna be great. We're all gonna love it. Next book is one that I do have an arc of, and I am in the middle of reading it right now. I'm reading really slowly because, you know, it's summer, almost summer anyway. It feels like summer. And that's what I do in the summer. And that book is the Jasmine Throne, Burning Kingdoms #1 by Tasha Suri. That book comes out on June the 8th. I left myself bad notes to look at for this, but, you know, honestly, like I said, I have an arc. I'm about 25% or so into it right now. I honestly have no idea what's going on. Let's just be honest here. There's a lot of political and a lot of different perspectives and characters. And even though I have no idea what's going on, I want to keep reading it. Like, it's one of those books that's just delectably readable. You know what I mean? One of those, the story's completely just out of the ballpark. You have no idea what's going on, but you can't stop reading. You need more of it. And that, for me, right now, is the Jasmine Throne. Like, I know that there's stuff going on. I have a general concept, but I couldn't describe this plot if I tried right now. I'm assuming by the end it's all gonna tie together and something will click in my brain, but until then, I'm just along for the ride. It's a very vivid, and it paints a wonderful picture in my mind, and I'm enjoying it, even though I don't really know what's going on. I feel like there's a lot of political drama. Let's go with that. And the last book we have on my list here, the one that I haven't seen people talking about, and I really am not sure why. That book is The Lights of Prague by Nicole Jarvis. Now, this one comes out May 18th. This book has otherworldly creatures in the shadows, elite monster hunters, vampiric creatures in the dark. There's also supposed to be a haunting in a castle and a conspiracy, and like, why aren't more people talking about this? I'm pretty sure this is an adult fantasy as well. And I want to read this. Like, more people need to be excited about this book. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I pre-ordered a copy. It's called Lights of Prague, Nicole Jarvis. Like, how can you say no to vampiric creatures and a haunted castle conspiracy? Like, that sounds right up my alley. Let's be honest here. So yeah, those were the 8 books I am most looking forward to during the second quarter of 2021. We just kind of blew through them. Didn't give good descriptions, but that's how I am, and I'm just rolling with it. What books are you most looking forward to? Is there one that I didn't name on my list that you think would be great? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. You know where the comment box is, and I will talk to you next time.